back to talk about the tools section of the mini starter box. So each tool section is about building your own toolkit. And you'll see that we are building internal and external coping strategies. So for example, the external tool in this box is the chime. And the chime's purpose is really to slow down, focus on one thing, and just really get kids to calm their body. And so we use the chime as a way to just have them focus on one thing and to kind of get them to settle their thoughts. And then once they're kind of getting good at focusing and slowing down, then we start to introduce the internal coping, which is, for these, it's mindful miles. And there's two different types of breathing. And originally they probably will start out using it on the card. They'll probably start tracing the card and maybe carrying around the card. That's why we put them on these little rings, because every box will get additional tools so you can keep adding to your collection. If kids get upset, if they need to take a break, they need a chance to reset, they can take these cards with them and they can practice. Eventually what you'll see happening is once they start practicing, you'll just see them do it on their own. When they learn how to do it and they practice the in and out and they can breathe on their own, you might see them do it on their arms or on their hands or somewhere else that feels calming to them. And that, you know, is that tool of kind of slowing down and resetting is now becoming something that they're internally starting to do. So those are the tools for this kit. The other thing that is included are the Parenting Tools to Go cards. And these are just little helpful tips for parents because, you know, after working with so many families and kids over the years, you know, it became very apparent that parents have nothing but the best intentions, but a lot of the times the delivery or maybe the actual words they use is kind of muddling up the communication, and the kids aren't receiving it the way the parents intended. So we thought we would just kind of use some typical scenarios and say, how can we say this just a little bit differently? So for instance, this one is, what's wrong with you? And how easy is it for us to say when the kids walk in the door, they're crying, they're upset, or something's going on, you know it, and you're like, what's wrong with you? And you don't mean it to sound that way, but for a lot of times for kids, that makes them very defensive. So when we replace that with, I notice you look sad, I notice you seem upset, I notice you look frustrated, and then we pause and give them that space for them to explain what happened. They're not going to feel as defensive. They're not trying to justify why they're sad or why they got hurt or whatever happened. They're just actually explaining it. And that's the place where we want to be. And we also want to make sure we come from a genuine place. So avoiding sarcasm, keeping our tone. And so if you feel like you're not in a good place to hear what's happened, it's okay to say, I really want to hear what happened to you. I need about 2 minutes and I'll be right back. And then you step away and you reset. And actually modeling that pause and modeling that taking a step back to take a break is really powerful and really good for our kids. So here are some parenting tips. Each box will also include more, which is why we have this, so you can just add to your collection. And these you can hang on your, you know, in your kitchen or somewhere around so that they're easily accessible. Hopefully these tips have been helpful. Thank you so much.